What's up, guys? John Mitchell here. I'm out in the shop today working on my Matthews V3. I've got it locked in the Probo balance right now, and I'm in the process of transitioning out of my hunting setup with just my 10 and my 8 stabilizer, so 10 inches on the front, 8 on the back, transitioning to my 3D target setup. So I've got it all locked in right now, but I've got a Shrewd S2 24 on the front and a Shrewd S2 14 on the back. So I'm going to show you how I'm using the Probo balance to balance this bow out front and back, left and right, and getting everything locked in and set up pretty tight for 3D season. So stay tuned, check it out. Okay, so I'm going to get everything unlocked right here and kind of show you where it's setting at. So as you see, it immediately wanted to dip forward, which is fine for now. Okay, so it wants to fall, which I'm actually okay with my bow falling just a little bit forward. It reason why is because when I get it to full draw, I want it to I mean, just from my feel, I want it to come down naturally for me. So I like it falling just a bit, but and then overall, I'll kind of show you here. Left and right's really pretty tight already. Um, it sits pretty good, but I'm gonna mess with it. Gotta show you what I'm doing. So first I'm going to get my front and back, and then I will mess with the left right. So I'm going to get this thing straight up and down and locked in. Okay. So there's that. So like I said, I'm okay with it falling forward just a little bit, but I am going to let's add an ounce to the back and see what it wants to do. So I've got just a little half ounce on here that I'm going to take off, and since I'm adding a half ounce, I'll just go to a 1 ounce weight. Okay. Alright, let's see what it does. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention, you want to try to make sure to get this bracket on there as square and as level as possible. That's going to affect how the bow balances out. So as you can see now, it's falling backwards. Okay. Let's add a weight to the front. Like I said, I like my bow to dip just a little in the front. So I'm going to add a half ounce in the front. I've got to make some room on the threads for it. Voila. Okay. I don't mind how that's balanced out right there, so I'm going to run that for a minute. Okay, so we've got front and back. Let's go ahead and do left and right here. Okay, so what my goal is I'm just going to use that level. And honestly, I'm just going to lock front and back. That way we're not worried about it right now. Okay, front to back's locked. For the most part. Okay, so now let's worry about left and right. Okay, and it wants to dive right. So we need to offset that just a little bit. So all I'm going to do, instead of adding weights, since I've got my weights kind of figured out front and back, I'm just going to pull this out a little bit. Now, I don't want to mess with the pitch really right now because we kind of are using that a little bit for the front and back as well. So I just loosened it a touch. Now you can see it wants to dive left. So let's get her back to center. Still diving left, so let's just bump it in just a smidgy. Bam. All right, let's crank her back down. And I'm not going to tighten it all the way right now, but all right, now let's loosen up our front to back and look at the bow as a whole. Try to get it as close as what it would be if it was drawn back. Like I said, don't mind it falling just a little bit towards the front. So kind of what I'm looking for here is I don't want it making any big drastic, falls forward, backwards, left, right. I'm just looking for just a gradual, just kind of fall like that. And then obviously as it's at full draw, which would be probably the bow somewhere right at this angle, I want it to be pretty flat. Okay, so I'm still dealing with it dipping to the left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this again. And go ever so slightly in. Now it's falling. Now it's falling that way, so let's kick it back out just a touch. Perfect. Fall straight forward. Okay. I actually really like how that's sitting. I just need to kick it in. Basically, with all this, you're just trying to find the happy medium everywhere. All right, there it is. Just took a little finagling. So I've got left and right, and I've got front and back now. So it took me just a second, which is where you could add a quarter in the front, which would be nice. I don't have a quarter, but if you had one, you could add it to the front to see if you could. But like I said, I like my bow to dip just a little on the front. So that's really pretty good there. All right, guys, this is how you use the Probo Balance to balance out your stabilizers. You can use this anytime you're putting new stabilizers on, adding weights. It's a really handy tool, just checking left and right, up and down. It's something that you can use rather than just trying to feel it in the bow. But once again, my name is John Mitchell. Thanks for watching.